If I was to call your ex right now, what would he warn me about you?
Nothing, because I don't have any exes. They don't exist. Who? I don't know about all of that.
If you used to speak to one of mine, what you think they warn you?
I wouldn't speak to one of your exes, first of all. I don't befriend exes.
Shit, no. might warn you.
It's okay, I'm good. I'm coming to you as a woman.
I wanna put you in my life forever, 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 forever. Baby, me love when you wine pon the pipeline. Me lady believe.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's get popping.
Hey guys, welcome to the He Say She Say podcast. You are tuning in to Chev B and Simba.
Simba, Island Boy in the building.
Island Boy in the building.
Island Boy, Island Poppy. I go by many names.
Okay.
Thank y'all for rocking with us for the first 2 episodes.
Yes.
The second episode actually surpassed 100 plus downloads on Spotify and Apple Music. So that was an exciting milestone to be crossed. And you guys are tuning in on the YouTube, so we couldn't be any more happier about that.
Honestly, we feel good still. We feel good. Thank you guys so much for supporting us. I actually want to hear what we got to say.
The early interaction is encouraging and we definitely enjoy it.
Yes, thank you. So, okay, so what we're doing first, we're doing what is going on.
Yeah, let's talk about what's going on.
What is the hottest topic that has been happening on social media this week? What?
For me, it's been Donald Trump getting impeached.
Right?
And the Busset Challenge.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Busset. I took part in the Busset Challenge. You weren't around when I did it though.
No, I wasn't.
I saw a lot of people, a lot of Busset Challenge with the guys, their boyfriends stepping in. I'm like, girl, ain't a man trying to come into this to go bust it down whether he's here or not here.
Yeah, anyway. My timeline has been filled with the Trump's impeachment and the Busset Challenge. It's like a mix of both.
Yeah, so wait.
Politics and
that's a good mix.
That's how we do it.
Politics and popping and twerking.
Yeah, I mean, you know.
He got impeached twice. The first time ever.
I mean, he still setting records, right?
It's just a big old joke. So that happened. But I think the biggest thing that happened on social media this week was Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan coming out as a couple. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was a little heartbroken. Yeah. You know you cute and whatever. And you know you got good boyfriend qualities. But I love me some Michael B. Jordan.
Chev has the biggest crush on Michael B. Jordan. But here's a true story.
Oh my God, what is a true story? No,
the first time Chev actually ever kissed me was in the Michael B. Jordan movie. So that's how I know. That's how I know he ain't got nothing on me.
How you know? I wasn't thinking about it.
Because your eyes was closed.
Yeah, exactly. So I was imagining it was Michael B. Jordan. And I'm joking.
Anyway. So
I'm joking.
Lori Harvey is now to Michael B. Jordan.
She is with they came out together. But like what my sister was telling me is like I think this is the first time he actually posted a woman.
I mean, why not?
On his social media.
She's a trophy.
Well, trophy can have different meaning to say, oh, I have the girl that everybody wants. But I think
it's like
from their interaction
with a man, when you have something that you're proud of, you don't. It's like rappers have thousands of cars, hundreds of cars. Okay. But they always pushing the Rolls Royce, the Benz truck, right? It's like it's something that they're proud of, something that they want everyone to see.
That's what I mean. A trophy, like I don't feel like it's necessarily that he wants to showcase her as a trophy. At least we don't know these people personally, but from his interaction, a lot of people seem forceful because they posted this like this video of them playing in the snow, and people are like, oh, like. It's kind of cringy.
Snow, like we don't really want to play snow to be honest.
That's a lie. Simba, you've hit me with a snowball in the eye before.
I wasn't playing. I wasn't playing.
Yeah, we've played in the snow plenty of times, Simba. So don't be like, oh, black people don't play in the snow. You've done that. Yes, Simba. I recall you wanting to build a snowman in the backyard. So quit playing. Quit playing. You really wanted to build a snowman. But anyways. So the big thing with this whole Lori Harvey and Michael B. Jordan, it's not so much that they are dating, but it's that people were trying to say she's for the streets, she's been around the block, She's been with so many people in the past 2 years since she's been like popular to mainstream.
I am pro women. And
what does that even mean?
Do what you want to do, like whatever makes you happy. Like
your body, your choice.
I ain't even trying to be out here judging anybody, because it's your life. You got one life to live. You better make sure you live it. Mm-hmm. So.
And she's young.
What you want to do? Yeah.
I think the thing with a lot of people on the slut shaming, it's like they're saying, "Oh, she was engaged to Lewis Hamilton. I think that's his name. He's like one of them race car driver. He's from Grenada. I didn't know that. Yeah. So I think she was engaged to him, and then Trey Songz. Then we find out when she was with Trey Songz. No, but we're gonna talk about it. Like when she was with Trey Songz, we found out that she was in a past relationship with Future. Okay, no, Future with his big ass mouth. He's gonna talk. And then we saw her last year. She and Future like really came out into the public, like we're dating last year for her birthday in Jamaica. I remember he had that big old party with all the friends, and who was there? Ryan Destiny. Ryan Destiny's my girl, and everybody there. And it was like an iconic picture with a different type of girls, and them skin just look real nice, and the melanin just pop. So everybody's like, okay, she was with Future last year, and then Michael B. Jordan. And I'm like, she's 24 years old. She's in the prime.
Was she only 24?
She's 24. She's in the prime of her life. She's dating.
At 24? She leading the league in scoring.
Exactly. Like what? We need.
Get buckets, Lori. Or if you get buckets.
What are you talking about? It's not much about buckets. You don't know if she slept with.
I never said she. No, like she's just winning. Like,
but even if she was, who cares? A lot of us in our 20s, especially early 20s, that is the time like you discover things. That's why I know a lot of people will have different opinions on this, but I don't believe in getting married like early 20s. You're supposed to, not saying, oh, you're going, who cares? Just, you're supposed to be figuring out your life, partners, different things you're supposed to be experiencing in your early 20s, because a lot of women miss out on the opportunity because they chase serious relationship, and the next thing you know, the marriage might not work, or before you know it, they're 37 with a kid, no husband, no nothing to show for it, and then they're in the club trying to pop it and lock it and drop it in their late 30s, late 40s, because they didn't experience what they need to experience in their early 20s. So it's like, you're supposed to be living these prime years. So I don't get why people try to come at her. She's in the public. So the camera's always gonna be there. Her family's famous. So some of us lived in our early 20s, and we didn't have people knowing about us because we're not popular. We don't have cameras on us. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But
so I think it's kind of unfair.
Like I said, I'm pro women, pro Larry Harvey. Get buckets, Larry. Get buckets.
What is with you and this get buckets
get
thing?
Buckets. Score every time you get the ball. Shoot that rap.
You are silly. So yes, I don't get that, because a lot of people, because this one tweet just stood out to me, like this lady, she's like, oh, I'm 37 and she has more partners than me, but then she's like, oh, she's losing her value by being with all these men.
Hey yo, let me tell you something about losing value.
What do you know about losing value?
You can't really lose value by being wanted.
But by dating, right?
Like, if you're wanted, you do not lose value.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I mean? Like, if you look at, like, art, every time art is auctioned off to another buyer, like, the value raises. Like, you do not lose value by being wanted. If you want it, you want it. Like, that's basically it. And for you to be 37 and comparing yourself to a
24-year-old, that's pretty sad.
That means you probably just, missing out on some life experiences that you probably wish you did. And you're just starting from a better place. But,
Yeah, and then when you click on the profile, because it was getting a lot of retweets and stuff, people just going off, right? But when you go in, because she's like, oh, dating all these different men making Lori Harvey lose her value. So then it's like, when you go on her page, you see that she got a kid, she's not married, nothing, in her 34 years and all that. She don't have nothing to show up for it. So
that's tough.
Mind your business. How about that? Everybody mind their business. Anyways.
So, last episode, we told y'all to drop some questions and we probably going to be answering it on the next episode. Unfortunately, we forgot to advertise that on Instagram. So,
Instagram?
Yeah, we only got 2 from the YouTube comments. Next week, we're going to be putting it on the Instagram, the different social medias. That way, if you want to drop in a question, each of y'all, depending on the platform that you listen to, can be able to get into it. So the first question is coming from Amira. I hope I said your name right. She wants to know, do you think it's important to have goals in your relationship to process together and independently? Definitely. I feel like one should not stop working on themselves because they're working on a relationship. The two of those can be done concurrently. Mm-hmm. You don't have to pause one to basically do the other, right? Mm-hmm. And working on yourself should be a goal, a cumulative goal between two parties in order to better the relationship, because a better you is a better us. So
okay, that's cool. I like that. Bars.
You know what?
A better you is a better us.
Yeah,
okay, I like that.
Somebody who got a book deal, give me a book deal. I'm ready. I'm ready to talk my ish in these.
Ooh, like, I think you answered that perfectly. A better you is a better us.
Better you is a better us. I'll be spitting for real. Yeah. And then we have the second question from Dark and Lovely. Shout out to you, Dark and Lovely. What advice would you give to young females getting caught up in a relationship that doesn't offer self-growth? Get out.
Not even second.
Yeah, get out. If you're not growing, then what are you really doing? Are you just there to be there? Nah, get out.
And if this person isn't helping you to grow, it's gonna be stagnant.
Yeah,
there's no movement.
There's like if you're not growing within your relationship, then what you're basically doing is putting a ceiling on a relationship for as how high as it can go. So if you're not growing, hit the road,
Jack. And don't you come back no more. No. Okay, I'm sorry. I got you. I'm sorry.
We ain't got the auto-tune on, sweetheart. We don't have the auto-tune on, sweetheart.
Okay.
So for today's topic, what we want to talk about is, does the past tell the future? X Games.
Wait, what?
Does the past tell the future? What
does the past tell the future?
What does your past relationships tell your new partner, or what can they tell you about you now, or what your new partner should look out for based on your past relationships? Do you feel like your past relationships is an indicator of the person you are right now?
First of all, I don't even talk about my past. I feel very uncomfortable talking about past relationships with
stuff. I don't.
Within my current relationship. You are a storyteller, so you I feel like you are more like, this is how I used to be, this is how I am type situation. Like, you always do that. But honestly, for me, it's like, I don't want to talk about it. Like, at all.
What do you think your exes would say about you?
I do not know. And I honestly don't care.
Yeah, for me, it all depends on who you ask. I might have some good stories. I might have some bad
You think you have good stories?
Yeah, hell yeah. I was a great person.
You think so?
It's like, everything good until it ain't. So I guess, if you have to put it on the scale and put the good and the bad, I think I still, got more good than bad.
The only thing I could think of, not so much to care what an ex would say about me, but what I have learned about myself through past relationship, where I kind of use it within my new relationship, is how I was in terms of self-esteem. I feel like I had lower self-esteem in past relationships, where I just let my partners in my last relationships like take advantage of me in terms of I keep coming back with that stupid ass word.
Let's go. Say it with me.
Vulnerable. Yeah. So I feel like I had low self-esteem in previous relationship, where it just free reign for past partners to treat me however they wanted to treat me because of that low self-esteem. And I felt like I had that in the beginning of this one, where I had to learn a lot about myself, because I felt like I still didn't know much about myself coming into this. And the thing is, before this current relationship, the last serious relationship that I had was 6 years before. 6-7 years before. So it's like 6 years before, 7 years in between, and you still don't know yourself. And that's what I'm saying, like with early 20s, like it's supposed to be discovering yourself. See the things that didn't work for you before and what works, or should you change or improve yourself with. So that's what I could say what the past told me. The past told me that, girl, you need to get your ish up. You need to level up because you are that B. You feel me? That was something I had to learn to understand my self-worth, because I lacked value and self-worth before. Like, I didn't realize how bomb I was. I didn't realize how important I was, because I felt grateful and lucky to have these people as, oh, this is my boyfriend, you know, like, no, I'm the prize. That's what I learned. Yeah, what you gotta say?
For me, I feel like, in terms of, does your last relationship tell you something about the next one? It all depends on where you fall in the line. Because after I got out of each relationship, I took a lesson from it and I improved for the next one. Mm-hmm. So if you was like third or fourth, you were like, wow, he's a good guy. But if he was the first one, he was like, why couldn't I get that? So it's like, I learned a lot coming in and out of them. There were learning lessons to be involved. There was one relationship that really changed my trajectory as far as the person I am in a relationship, and that's because I messed it up. And I felt like I messed up something that was going to be really good for me. And it put me in a state where it's like I had to reflect. So it's like, here I am looking at myself in the mirror, looking at a lot of parts of myself that quite frankly, I didn't like. And I was like, okay, wow. For me, moving on in the future to get better at this thing, this is what I got to change. This is what I got to fix. And it took a while for me to actually...
what age did you realize this? Because obviously I'm asking this because a lot of men don't get to that place of like, oh, I'm trying to do better for a future relationship based on how I was in my past.
I was like, let's see.
You sound like it was a while ago.
I was like
22. You realized that you want to change?
That's when I realized like there's some things that I need to work on. However, that doesn't mean that I wanted to.
Oh, so you realized,
like I realized,
but that didn't mean like you started making the moves to change. So I'm asking you,
still, like you when did you? Your 20s is about self-discovery.
But what I'm asking is, have you implemented those changes?
Yeah, I'm still implementing to this day.
Okay,
you know, it's always a continuous process. So I'm not.
So what do you think? Why some men wait until in their 30s or late 20s to realize?
Some people lead a game when they hot. Some people gotta fall off the top. That's pretty much how that goes.
What does
some people leave the game when they hot, and some people it's like, do you want to leave the game on your own terms, or do you want to leave when you're old and you just gotta leave because you can't score bucket? Matter of fact, I keep going back to. I'm a basketball fan. So I keep going back to the basketball. If you can't score buckets no more, then what's the use of you playing the game? So that's what forces people to lead a game sometimes. It's just that they just can't do it no more.
But then by that time it's too late for some people. Because who you should have been with, the person who got away is already gone. And
that's the problem. A lot of people messed out on life partners because they was chasing temporary highs. You know. But
so with this
I have a question.
Oh, okay.
Remember in episode 1 when we was talking about friends?
Okay, yeah.
And you spoke about these group of friends that you had and the things they would say about me when you first met me.
Did I say all of that? I don't remember saying all of that.
You have these group. You had some people that would say things about me when you first met me, which you believed.
Yeah.
Right, which you believed.
Oh, I know what you're trying to get at. Mm-hmm. To say like, do you judge your partner based on their past?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because that's the person that you were.
But it's the person you were, the person you are.
But that's hard for me to figure out if we just got into a relationship. So I know it's kind of unfair, but it's like, if you are a well-known person where people know you, right? People know you. I'm new to this, but people know you from the past. Right? So hearing all these things, although you don't want to take, it's not good to always take every little thing people say. You got to experience certain things for yourself. But also, you're going to take into consideration the person's past, because you don't want to be naive at the end of the day. Not to say I'm going to judge you, but I'm not going to go in blindly.
Hey, yo.
So that's what I could say and take from that.
None of what you hear, half of what you see, and 100% of what you know.
No, but yeah, I will be mindful of your past behavior in past relationships. Not to use it to judge you, not to use it to say you're going to do that, but it's to be mindful of it.
You know why I feel like
until I see that change behavior.
You know why I feel it's unfair to judge someone based on a past relationship?
Why?
Because you're only judging them on one half of the story. Because you're gonna know me, but you're not gonna know the other person that was in a relationship with me.
Say why right? You were the way you were.
You might hear me yelling, but you might not hear her pinching me or hear me causing me to yell. Not saying that I wasn't abusive.
I was gonna say,
but you're not gonna see or hear that side or half of the story. So that's why I feel like it's unfair.
True.
Right? If you was looking from a third person angle, which no one ever has that view to say, okay, maybe this caused that. Like everything is usually a chain reaction. Every reaction is a action. Every action is a reaction to an action.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, with that being said, with patterns that you see in someone based on what you saw or what you heard about a previous relationship, do you think those behaviors are reversible?
I absolutely do think that. Because, like you were saying, you take different experiences from different relationships and implement them in new ones. Not saying you're going to be this perfect human being, but you take the experiences with you. So, wouldn't that be changed behavior moving on? Like change or irreversible or reversible patterns. So you'll be changing patterns of behavior.
I mean, a few years ago, I probably wouldn't be as thoughtful or romantic as I was. You know what I mean? Like,
would you say that it goes to this conversation that a lot of women have? It's like another woman reaps the benefits of the man you helped create.
That's funny because one time, like one of my exes, like me and her still good friends, like we cool. She said to remind you that you still need to send up flowers.
Who, me?
You need to send up flowers because...
Well, thank you, Karen, for reforming this.
A kind of finished product now, in a sense.
You're not a finished product.
Still finished. It's still working, but I came a long way from where I used to be. I was... What do you think was some of your worst traits in your previous relationship?
My insecurity. That I can't remember a lot of things from past relationships, but the one thing I remember being is so insecure about everything. Like that had to do with like the searching of the phones and stuff, and I was still insecure even here. Like I had to learn how to be secure in myself. So I feel like that was the thing. Like I just had that low self-esteem where I felt like I wasn't good enough to be with this person.
Nah, you're good, mama. You're good.
So I feel like that was where my issues. No trust. No trust whatsoever with that insecurity.
If I was to be asked that same question, I would say one of my worst traits was I was impatient.
What is impatient with what?
I was just impatient. Like the way you're supposed to sit down and talk through issues and resolve conflicts and problems. The moment the time for that came around, I would become emotionally unavailable. I wouldn't. Like, after a certain time, it's like, I even think I want to have this conversation anymore, which was selfish.
So you weren't a communicator?
I wasn't a communicator. I would, anytime I feel like it was getting too deep, I would try to find a way to...
Get out of the relationship.
Basically.
So with that, do you say, your pattern of behavior too was you were afraid of commitment or serious commitment?
No,
because that was so
it wasn't that I was scared of commitment because I wanted commitment. What it was is that I saw and I've seen so many great relationships fail before, and then you went from two people that loved each other to now two people that hate each other. And it's like sometimes I'll be just sitting in the midst of the relationship and I'll be like, yo, this is a really dope and great person in my life. And it was like, if this was to finish because I messed it up, then this person is gone for good. So what I would have preferred was, we get out before you reach to a point where it's unfixable, where it's nothing to be salvaged.
Yeah, but you're still getting old. So
I was a lot younger at that time, and the way of thinking was, I never said it was the correct way of thinking, but I always felt like if we could leave before it gets to the point where it's like, do not ever speak to me again, I hate you, then I would still have something rather than nothing.
So that's the thing. It sounds more like you were trying to preserve to have this person as your friend longer than have them in a relationship. Because as I said, you're still friends-ish with a particular ex that is one of your closest friends. Yeah. So, but funny enough that you said that, because I can see the pattern and change behavior, because you said you weren't so much a communicator, but no, you are the communicator in our relationship.
You gonna let me talk. You gonna hear me.
Because I don't like to talk.
Yeah, you gonna
Funny
hear me.
enough, I don't like to talk. Like you are more of the sit down, let's talk it out. We're gonna have this whole thing type of situation. So it's funny enough to hear you say you weren't the communicator, but you are a communicator right now. Sometimes too much of a communicator. You want to talk for hours.
Hey,
I don't want to talk for hours.
You can talk to the resolve, and if it's not resolved, then we can pick it up tomorrow.
I'll be restless, like, oh, enough already.
You know, one way to get past that quickly.
What?
Just agree with me.
That's your problem. That is your problem.
Exactly. So if you don't want to agree, then we're going to hash it out and we're going to have to get down to the nitty-gritty.
Okay, so that's interesting to hear. I've never heard that before. So that's one like change behavior. So that really happens for some people, but it really doesn't happen for a lot of people. A lot of people don't see anything worth changing.
Yeah, because a lot of people feel like everything they do is perfectly fine and they're never the problem. And that type of ignorance is what causes a lot of relationships to fail.
Okay, I get that.
And, another reason why I feel like it's unfair to judge someone off of a previous relationship is simply because what if that person just wasn't the person for you?
True.
So I was told one time, like, my role and purpose in your life is just to take you to this point and then bye-bye.
And then bye-bye. It's seasonal.
You know what I mean? It was just
for the season. Or you can teach me that I'm a bounce.
Yeah, then it's out. And I wasn't mad at it. Like, I understood where it was coming from. Some people, as bad as it sounds, are just there for the moment in your life to probably teach you and help you get over a hurdle, and then, it's time to move on.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a give and take with knowing your partner's past. Some things I feel like you should just not know. Like, just leave it buried and let it stay. But I feel like some things you need to know. Because,
for example, one thing I need to know. Have you dated a white man before?
Man, excuse. See, certain things need to be buried. That's not important. What I was trying to say is, when I know.
Have you dated a white man before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay.
That was not what I was going to ask. What I was going to say is, like, certain things don't need to be said, but I feel like to say, like, for some women to know if this man was abusive to his ex, I feel like that's things that should be known. Yeah.
Ladies,
I need to know if you had that type of behavior. Exactly. Yeah. I feel like that is very important to know. So you say, like, don't judge. It's kind of hard not to judge things like that.
I mean, it's subjective. There's some things that you see from a previous relationship you just know you want.
Yeah, that's something that I need to know your mental. I know a lot of people like kind of sensitive around topics like that, but mental health is something important that you need to discuss, like from the past.
Yeah, you want to know, do you have any outside children hidden in Jamaica?
Yeah, bro.
But you might have like what, 2 kids hiding in Jamaica that you don't look for?
I don't know how that works, because I think from what I have heard, like her kids live in the States.
I feel like
people just weird.
That if your partner's abusive,
that's
if they dated a white
know.
man before, that's something you need to know. What else?
Like aggressive behavior, mental health, abuse. Those are the type of things. Alcoholism, drug use. Those are stuff. Even though you might not be an addict right now, I need to know stuff like that.
No, being fair
from your past,
you can overcome those demons. You can change.
Yeah, but it's still important to know.
I think it's fair that you should alert the person what they're getting into.
Disclosure.
Yeah,
it's important to know.
For all they might be able to help you do that. Exactly. They may be willing to help you do that. But it's like, I don't want no surprises from before.
Exactly. And that's it. Like, certain things you gotta know, certain things you don't. And that's basically it. Not say to judge, but it's important to know so that the other person is aware of it and they can decide what they wish to do with this information. If they see the change in you, then we can move on from that. But if not, it should be up to me to be like, if I want to chance that in the future of that past behavior coming out, if it does come out or if it doesn't come out, can I handle that?
Right.
Yeah.
That's a funny question though. You ever thought about if I was to call your ex right now?
Why you call it?
Hold on. What would he warn me about you?
Nothing, because I don't have any exes. They don't exist. I don't have any exes. I don't have any exes. Who? Ex who? I don't know about all of that.
If you used to speak to one of mine, what you think they want you?
I wouldn't speak to one of your exes, first of all.
You have befriend.
I don't befriend exes. No, thank you.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong. Shit, might warn you.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm good. I'm coming to you as a woman.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow, this was fast, actually. Alright, episode 3, X Games. What can the past tell about the future? Alright, so you know the drill. Any questions that you have that you want answered in the upcoming episode, feel free to DM on our Instagram page.
Yes. What's the Instagram page handle?
_ He Say She Say podcast. If you want to leave them in YouTube comments, you can find us there. If you want to DM us on our Twitter, Instagram or Twitters, you can find us there. Just let us know that this is the question for the podcast. Okay. We'll definitely check it out.
Okay, so my handles are at @Chev.
And my handle on Twitter, Instagram is Island Poppy with the _ after that. And Snapchat, Island Poppy 264.
Yes, make sure you're following the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Is it Apple Music or Apple Podcasts?
Apple Podcasts.
Yes. Follow us.
Apple Music is for music.
Exactly. You said music, not me. I said podcast. Yeah, you said music. That's what I said. So yeah, and if you follow us on YouTube, it's at CS Together. So make sure you're subscribed. You check out all our podcasts. We have weekly vlogs that we're doing as well. Yes.
We put up a vlog yesterday.
Yes, so check that out.
Run it up.
Yes, beautiful people. And we'll see you guys in our next podcast. And that is a wrap. Bye, y'all.
Forever. Baby, me love when you wine pon the pipeline. Me lady, believe me, me love you, me lifeline.